You are watching the DOCTALK show.
Welcome back. HIV self-testing is the in thing these days because you can test it in the convenience of your privacy in your home without having to worry about any stigma or discrimination, and the results are disclosed to you straight away because it's done by you. But do we know how to interpret the results of an HIV test kit? We've just shown you how to do it, but now our experts are going to show you how to interpret the results. How do you know if a result is positive or if a result is negative, or if that result is what they call invalid? It's a diagnostic error. The test kit was wrong, so you have to repeat the result. So, Mr. Victor, back to you. We have just tested you, and now you have to go through the horrors of interpreting your result. Yes.
Okay. Being a self-test, we made sure that we make interpretation as easy as possible for everyone to be able to interpret their result. So right here on the test stick, there is a C up right here, then there is a T, okay, just below the C. Now the C represents for control. So the T represents the test, okay? So one, for any test, for any valid test, there should be a line that appears against the C. Okay. So there is a C here, and then there should be a line here. So that means that your test is valid. Your test is working well.
Test is correct.
Okay? So it's a control line. Okay? Now, if the test is negative, then right here, where there is T, there will not be any line. So you only have a single line against the C.
Okay.
Yes. But if the test turns out positive, there is the line that will appear against the T. So you'll have two lines.
Two lines, eh?
Yes. That means your test has tested positive. However faint, it can be a very visible line, or it can be a very faint line. Okay? Yes. So whichever, still it means the test has tested positive.
So, first of all, for the test to be to be correct, you said there has to be a line at the C.
At the C, yes.
So there are two words on that test. It's like a window, eh? So there's the C which is on top and the T which is down. So there must be a line at the C. What if there's no line? What does that mean?
So if there is no line at the C, that means the test is invalid. Even if there is a line at the T, but if there is no line at the C, that means your test did not work well.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means you cannot rely on those results.
You cannot rely on those results. You have to do the test again.
Okay. So for a correct test, we must have a line at the where you see the letter C. There should be one line. That means the test is correct and the result it's given you is correct. So from then, like you said, the positive result is when there is a line at the T, and a negative result when there is no line. Yes. So basically, a negative result, there's only one line.
One line, yes, there's only one line.
A positive result, there are two lines at the C and at the T.
However faint the lines.
Even if they are even if it is a small thing.
Even if it's a very faint line, yes.
Okay. So,
if there are three lines.
Okay,
Can they be three?
No, they cannot be three lines.
They can't
but
be more
maybe
than.
What is also critical is by the end of the 20 minutes, the background of behind, you should not see anything red on the test. The only red things that you can see should be the line at the C or the line at the T, okay? But the background should be as clear as possible. The moment you have a background that is red, okay, then you have to repeat that test.
Okay.
So I think if there are three, it's also invalid, right?
If
there are three lines,
yes,
it's also an invalid result.
If there are three lines, it's also an invalid. Because the correct test
now the third one comes from where?
I don't know. There has to be either one line
either one
C
line or two lines.
Or two lines at the C and the T.
Okay, and it should be white.
The background should be very clear.
Okay.
I think by the time we finish the background, it will be very
So that is waiting for the 20 minutes until all the red has cleared, and then it is ready.
Exactly, then you can read a clear test.
So, Mr. Geoffrey, how effective is this test? Is it as good as the ones done in hospital? And in which people can we do this test, the self-test?
Thank you very much, Doctor. The test is actually accurate. It's as good as the test that we do in the hospital. If you read on the box, the manufacturer puts the accuracy at 99%, and actually not very different from what we currently use in the hospitals. The blood-based kits, 99.5.8. So the difference is not really much. And currently in our program, it's actually the other way around, that some people do test positive on the self-test, and then when they come for confirmation to the hospital, they turn negative. Because our strategy is such that if the HIV self-test is positive, then you come for a confirmatory test by a healthcare provider.
So there's a chance that 1% may be a negative.
So there's a chance that
be a wrong result.
Yeah, some people test positive because the kit is highly sensitive. They test positive on the self-test, and then when they come for confirmation, it's actually a negative, which is okay. It would be a problem if you test negative here when it's actually false negative. Yeah. Okay. So in diagnostics or in testing, the higher the sensitivity, the better.
The better the...
Yeah, so in testing we use what we call an algorithm. So you start with a screening test which is very sensitive so that it can pick out everyone, including those who may not have the infection. Yeah, and then you go to a confirmatory test which is more specific to now screen out those that actually don't have the infection, and you only remain with those that have the infection. So in terms of, yes.
If someone tests positive with this kit,
yes,
it's not the end of the story. They should
go
to hospital.
Exactly. Okay. And the insert is very clear. When you test positive, you go for a confirmatory test. If you test negative, then we encourage you to retest after 3 months if you've been exposed. Yeah. Some people may test negative and they have no exposure whatsoever, so they may not require to retest. Okay. And if you're negative, test after 3 months. If you're positive, you come for a confirmatory test at the nearest health facility, of your choice.
Very interesting. And which kinds of people can we do this test?
Oh, great. Very good question. So for the country program in Uganda, we, because of targeted testing, we are doing what we call targeted testing, trying to use the resources we have, the test kits we have, to test people who are likely to be positive, people who are at risk, at higher risk than others. So for the HIV self-testing program, we started with key populations. Key populations, I mean examples of like female sex workers, because they are at risk, they are at higher risk compared to the rest of the population. But also, like I said, self-testing helps us to transcend the barriers of issues like time and fear and distance. So we are also using the kit, supplying the kit to pregnant mothers and breastfeeding mothers whose partners do not come to the facility. So the mother takes the kit to their partner at home or wherever they are and give them the kit to test. Very soon we are also going to start giving the kit to adolescents, because like I said, it's another group that have a big identification gap, or where we still have about 30% of them who have HIV not having been identified through our conventional testing program. Okay. The manufacturer recently, the kit received WHO pre-qualification to also be used in children. So as our national HIV self-testing program matures, we will soon use the kit to screen children, exposed children. These are children of HIV positive mothers, children born of HIV positive mothers, and who are 2 years and older. Yeah, so we shall be able to give the mother the kit, and at their convenience, they can screen the child. So all these are proposed interventions. So in a nutshell, the kit can be used for individuals 2 years and above.
And above.
So the approach or the use, the utilization differs as per the age bracket, but also as per the national or program priorities.
And are the test kits free of charge? You know, that's another question people will be asking. You know, as much as they are good to, you know, can be tested in convenience of your home, are they free of charge, or do they have to buy it? What are those cost things around it?
Yes, like I said, the country program is prioritizing particular groups. So the groups for whom we are prioritizing the test receive free kits. Like I mentioned, female sex workers, for example, as part of the key populations group, partners, male partners of the pregnant and breastfeeding mothers. We are going to reach adolescents. We also target some particular groups of men, come next year. So those prioritized by the national program will receive free kits. The general population, they will go to Victor here. Victor is supplying the pharmacies out there. So you can walk to a pharmacy and buy this kit, go and use at your convenience.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So our guests have explained the importance of having a self-kit, and you can see it's very easy to use, very easy to interpret, but the steps thereafter, after receiving your results, are very crucial. If the results are positive, it is important you go to a hospital and get retested so that we can really ascertain whether the result it's provided is actually true, or it was a problem of maybe a false positive result. And he has also highlighted that the test can be done in different age groups to as low as children 2 years and above. So don't be afraid to get a kit for your family and get them tested. Remember, the fight against HIV starts with you. Start with testing yourself, test your family, and then the testing can increase at a national level. So we'll be back after the break to talk more about HIV self-kits. Don't go, we'll be right back.
You are watching the DOCTALK Show.